If it's the case that more black people do commit more R crimes than white people do, how is that anything other than a fact?
It's not a fact.
It is a fact.
It's not.
Are you
And
sure?
we also have to consider convicted for.
It's even worse.
Like I said earlier.
It's so much worse, Charlie, than you think. It's so
people
much.
going innocent or...
Charlie, it's worse than you could ever imagine.
What do you mean?
It's worse than you could ever imagine.
Okay, well, will you concede that not all convicted criminals are guilty of what they have done?
Of course.
Okay.
But will you concede that most of the people who are convicted of the crimes that they committed those crimes? Because
I'm not sure, actually. There's also a history of false accusations, against black men by white women. That is a fact.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the entire historic standard, sure. But like just the last 10 years, no, there's not much of that. Things like DNA, we have DNA testing. That's the big one.
But a lot of kits don't happen. A lot of cases don't have kits involved.
So don't trust women? Or should we believe all women?
I think that you can believe victims, but I think that you can also account for like a pattern of racism.
So don't believe
in the justice system.
So don't believe all women?
That's not what I'm saying.
Should I believe all women or not?
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you here. No.
Yeah. No.
Come on, dude. Come on. Girl, stop. You have to stop this.
Yo, watch this.
I'd way rather look at these girls than you.
Are you serious? I just had a baby.
Yeah.
And you're gonna tell me that?
Most girls bounce back, so I don't know what your problem is, and I don't really care anymore.
So, I have a serious question, multiple questions. Men want women to be submissive and sweet and docile, right? Don't work, depending on what you want for a woman, but this is mainly what I hear. Don't work, take care of the kids, things like that. But how can women do that if the men that are supposed to be leading don't want to lead properly?
I don't know what this is, Tay. This man is tripping. This man is tripping. This gotta be a joke, a skit. Even if it's this, nah, buddy tripping. This ain't it.
Gentlemen, if no one's told you, you got to tell yourself, you are special. You are important. You are the man. When I talk about things like confident, intelligent, and assertive, CIA, when I talk about frames, fragrance, footwear, when I talk about any of the things, the catchwords I use them for a very specific reason, because you matter. And you need to carry yourself as such. So the first thing is I started to treat myself well. Yeah, even when you're making minimum wages, get an extra topping on your pizza, get extra cheese. That's why I talk about the 3 F's, frames, fragrance, and footwear.
Going back to Honolulu just to get that Maui Wowie, that Maui Wowie.
Oh my god, male Uber drivers are suing because Uber implemented something that discriminates against them specifically due to their gender? This is why we picked the bear. Uber drivers aren't upset that women aren't going to be getting in their vehicles. They're upset because adding a woman-only option takes away from the rides they'll be able to get, which means they can't pay their bills. Uber has like a million safety features to ensure that nothing happens to you during your Uber ride. So don't sit here and tell me that this is imperative to women's safety. Also, I've been taking Uber for like the last 5 years, and I can count on one hand how many female Uber drivers I've had. So newsflash, ladies, if you hit that woman-only driver option, you are going to be waiting a long time. What's so crazy is that I know that if Uber added an option where men could only get picked up by men, women would be throwing a fit too. Like, this is locker room talk. This is men sticking together. They are coming together to plot against us. You are not that unsafe when it comes to Uber. Just pipe down.
I get it from the woman's perspective, but then I also get it from the male perspective, because all of those, I think it's either Uber or Lyft. They have like, I call them hot zones or like hot spots, but basically there's certain times where it's super busy and you can get paid more. You're telling me that you're giving women a free for all basically to these spots. And men are like, man, like that's prime time to earn a bonus. And you're telling me that you're essentially excluding me from the bonus. that's not right. So I definitely understand both sides of it. Women are talking about safety, but yeah, that's, to me, it's hard for me to go full all the way and say, no, this is wrong, because I understand from a comfort perspective why women would do it, from a quote unquote safety perspective why they would do that. But also, this might fall into discrimination, man. This might fall into discrimination. I don't know if you're going to be able to have this hold up in court. You might have to bring statistics along and argue heavily on that fact. I don't know how this is going to go for Uber.
Like, I didn't know husbands were actually the wanted ones. You get me? We grow up, you think the ring goes in, you off the market.
Shoo people away.
I didn't know. Like, once the ring comes in, you are like, oh no, he's a stable one.
Yeah.
If Lily can just move,
and I'll come in.
I come in.
Sheesh.
And those are convos, man. I wish we had uncles who could sit us down, fathers who can tell us, look, this is what I went through. This is how it happened. I didn't go out to break my family. At certain points in your life, you won't have to go out to break your family. You'll have to keep the door closed.
Woo! Come on, bro.
You're not going to leave the house. They're going to try to get in the house.
Bro.
You know, I had to set up boundaries, bro. I was always Brother Danny, chilled, you know.
Come pray for us.
Come pray for us. You go, you pray, you lay hands, do deliverance. Nyana, hey, life goes on. At some point, wifey had to help me see. And bro, I fought my wife.
Yeah.
You just judging, you being, you know. And then after a while, sister
like,
will throw a pass. I'm like, oh my goodness,
this is what my wife was talking about, bro. Yeah.
Hey, dude, now you must go back and say.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what my wife used to say. It's like, yo, you don't see it.
You're not Black Newborn, the struggling rapper.
Yeah.
You know, you know, Black Newborn, the husband, the father, the podcaster, the preacher, and you want to still be, and you can't.
Bro.
So those for me are places where I feel we need to talk. Men are not prepared for success.
They're not, bro. We're prepared to dodge struggles, but what happens when you don't have to struggle and you're winning? How do you deal with wins, bro?
Yeah.
How do you deal with walking on the mountaintop, dealing with victory?
Hey,
crazy, bro.
I think those are experiences where you sit down with brothers and you're like, yo, what's actually happening in your life?
Your status is increasing. And for a lot of women, they're attracted to that. So when you got rapper, oh, he's just a underground rapper. Oh, I'm actually a pastor. Oh, shoot, you're not a pastor at the corner of for some people, it don't matter. For some women, it don't matter. If you say pastor, that's all they need to hear. Oh, you're a pastor? Okay, bet. I got a pastor, and that's their claim to fame, even though they don't have any fame. So you're a pastor, you're a rapper. One of those things has to take off. You know, oh, we pastor a big church. We got a lot of members. Status. Or he's a rapper, and we go to shows and concerts, and I'm backstage cheering him on. Status. I'm all over his Instagram and the social media. Status. They get tied down with that, and you know, a lot of men, they don't see that coming. They really don't, because a lot of times they've never had that before, right? People paying attention to them, specifically women paying attention to them. And then all of a sudden, like he said, it be subtle at first for some of these ladies. And some of these ladies think that they can get with you through a subtle thing. But then some of these women, they'll jump on you, man. They'll jump on you, dude. Seriously. We have the obvious examples of Chris Brown and what's that guy's? I think Morgan Wallen. I don't know. I can't remember his name. But, you know, like I said, they'll jump on you. And we try, oh, well, those are celebrities. No, man. The quote unquote high value men, and even underneath that, like I said, if they find out you have a little bit of pop, Because what modern women will do is they'll say, I'm going for the top of the top. And then they'll see, like, say, for instance, LeBron James, top tier, okay? Or an athlete similar, right? They'll say, okay, I'm going to go for him. But then there's too many women around him. I'm going to go to the next one. So they'll try to get maybe the B player. Like you have A, B, say LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. I don't think Dwayne Wade is a B player, but you get what I'm saying. They'll go to Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, too busy. So they'll go to one of the role players, still too busy. One of the G League players, still too busy because he's still a professional athlete. He's still somewhere around the NBA. So then they'll start whittling down. Actors are kind of the same way. A-list, B, A1, A2, B-list, C-list, D-list, all the way down until, oh, well, he's not necessarily a D-list, but, he was in a couple of commercials. Or he, kind of in the background. And they can show you the exact commercial where he was standing in the background for like a second or two. Oh yeah, that is him. That status. And so they do the same thing in religion. They'll do the same thing in politics. They'll do the same thing. These women will do the same thing in school. They don't care. They do the same thing in high school, right? Oh, I've got the top of the top and whittle all the way down. And so some of them will go all the way down. They say they've got the criteria of 5 things. I don't know what the 5 things would be, but even if they can get one to get them a little play and bragging rights, they'll do that. That's what they do. That's what they do, man. They're not focused on finding a good man. They're focused on finding a man with status, a man that they can take his badge, his covering, his come up, and then try to basically get rich off of that.
Taking me out, bare minimum. Bringing me bouquets of flowers, bare minimum. Picking me up from work, bare minimum. Taking me shopping, bare minimum. Taking me out, bare minimum. Paying without hesitation, bare minimum. Booking flights and holidays, bare minimum. Opening the doors and pulling out my seat for me at a restaurant, bare minimum. Sending me money randomly to cover my expenses, bare minimum. Effort and time, bare minimum. Booking me cabs to and from where I need to be, bare minimum. Driving me around, bare minimum. Bringing me random cute things with sentimental value.
Ooh, damn. Bare minimum. What you think? I think she needs some therapy. You think so? You think she need? You think she need an exorcism too? She most likely needs some prayer over her spirit and her body. Okay? Yeah, we're gonna pray for her. We'll pray for her. All right. Pray for her.
Women criticize men because criticism changes women. We have almost no protection against criticism. If we're not engaged in admiring and respecting and liking ourselves, we'll be slayed by criticism. We will change from criticism. We think men are the same. And so we criticize them as a way to get them to change. And when they don't change, we think they didn't change because they don't love us. That's not why they didn't change. It's because they have a completely different relationship to criticism. What is it about me that you hope I never change? Great question. Yes. And especially because what they love about us are all ways of being.
I don't understand why y'all think we're not supposed to elevate from the decentering men talk and start going to responsibility talk. Tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Before we got here, we had to tell you the truth about men. Telling you the truth about men wasn't to try to make them accountable. Telling the truth about men was to let them go and let them self-destruct. The male will self-destruct because he can't lead himself. He's not biologically or neurologically fit to be in an artificial environment. The reason that the male keeps getting caught up in child support situations is because child support is not a biological consequence. It is an artificial sociological consequence that the male has a way of evading. A lot of these women not even putting these dudes on child support. And if the dude got enough kids, it don't matter if you try to put them on child support, you ain't gonna get but $1.26 anyway. So you wasting your damn time.
Men adapt to any environment. In tough times and great times, men continue to build. Could men be a little bit better? Sure. But men adapt. They always adapt. They've always, in whatever environment, shown a propensity to adapt. That's why even though you have female-led countries, I think maybe New Zealand is one of them. I can't remember anyone. I know the UK at one time was, I think they had a Margaret Thatcher, I think it was, at one point in time. The society is already set up. The structure's already there. It's just now you're coming into the fold and saying, okay, let's see if you can run it. Let's go. And you decide whether you can or not as a woman and go from there, right? See if you can do the job, okay? But the structure's already set up. Everything's at your disposal. So men will adapt to anything, even if it's inside or outside of the system. You try to put me on child support, I'm going to evade that anyway because, I've got a bunch of other baby mamas and I've been evading it anyway. And y'all keep on picking me and I'm going to keep on evading it while the rest of the men are looking on like, man, why y'all keep on going for him? He's going to adapt. Well, we're going to get him this way and we're going to make a law against that. You women don't get it. You making laws is not going to stop him. He'll go to Arizona and keep on doing it. Or we'll make a law in Arizona. We'll make a law in all 50 states. He will jump up and go to Puerto Rico. Well, Puerto Rico's part of the 50 states, I guess, but you get it. I'll go to Canada. I'll go to Jamaica. It don't matter. I'll come back to the U.S. They're never going to find me because there's more important things. And you're the idiot for continuing to get with a Chad and a Tyrone and a Pookie and a Ray Ray. That's your fault.
That is what good looks like, I will say. Maybe you're not gonna like to hear that, but that actually is like a great time.
Men being sick, horrible.
I hate men being sick.
Huh?
It's the worst genre of man. Should f together. We gotta go to Mew Mew on Sunday.
Yeah, we have plans,
Sundays
baby.
are for Mew Mew.
Are you crazy? This brother has been going through internet firestorm. He's sick because of the stress that lowers the immune system, all right? And then on top of that, he's probably depressed. So now he's cocooned himself into his room, and here you go complaining that he's not taking out the dog that you tongued down more than him. It's just so crazy.
Listen, we got to address something that happened this week. We had to talk about something that happened to Akash, this
I was
week.
bullied.
You were bullied, bro.
I was bullied, yo.
You were bullied. You were disrespected.
But in the spirit of diving deep into the psychology of this entire situation, we need to review his thoughts of why he clings to this dead relationship.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to marry this girl because I'm so broken. I'm in such a bad place and it's a dark time in my life. But I know I will never find a girl that loves me this much ever again. And I will never find a girl who rides for me this hard ever again.
But what Akash seemingly leaves out of this story is that she left him behind.
And everything came to a head when my mother-in-law came to visit us. I was being very distant because of everything we were going through. Akash was very stressed, and I think she kind of internalized it like that I was being big towards her or passive aggressive towards her. It was a huge fight between all of us. Basically, Akash did not defend me, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I can be in a relationship with this person anymore.
So after this, we both took a much needed break and
So the man was literally at the lowest portion of his wife, and you were being, quote unquote, you said it, not me, so much so that his mama picked up on the behavior and all hell broke loose. And you got mad at Akash for not defending you through your behavior.
I can't do this. Okay.
Okay, I have really acne prone skin.
Okay. Before this video, she rarely posted and did not give an opinion of Akash on camera. And if you pay attention, she's actually nervous on camera, which is a far cry from screaming that she wants to bang her co-host's husband on camera during a podcast.
But I actually love you and want to fuck
What?
all of
What?
Actually love you and want to fuck all of love you.
Wait a minute. And the lesson there for all men is to assess the benefit of allowing social media a part of your relationship.
Bro, I don't even give a at this point. Like, bro, if you don't love me, you don't want to be with me, then just say that.
You nasty, all because I won't let you.
Bro,
It's
not just it's like other stuff. Like,
you're nasty. Why are you obsessed with a man's...
Bro, it's just yours.
It's just mine.
It's just yours.
What the dude? These people really got problems.
No,
like,
if you don't want to be with me, you don't want me to.
I understand if you like ass, but like, bro, you're obsessed with trying to my ass. Like, bro, what?
I like you. I just want you. I want every piece of you.
It's giving women in male fields. What the is wrong with you?
Women in male fields. No, that would imply that you're sexist because women can be in whatever the fuck field they want. I can be in your ass if I want. If
you see, this is the exact bro. What the?
If you don't want to be with me,
you're nasty. I guess I don't. Pack your bags and get the home.
Well, that's not an
Goodbye.
option.
Fact number 1. Women who feel led have 4 times more orgasms. Archives of sexual behavior in 2022. This is 15,000 women, okay?
Oh, you mean this paper? The one that doesn't show that at all. I'm Max Butterfield, doctor. Max Butterfield, I study this kind of thing for a living. 3 science-backed facts about this paper that you should know. Number 1, that claim is entirely made up. It's not in there at all. I don't know what to tell you. It's fake. Number 2, what the paper actually measured was the number of times that people typically orgasm in a given week. You might be interested to know that number 3, somewhere between 10 and 17% of people orgasm 7 times a week. That seems like a lot. Most people orgasm less. If you want to know how to orgasm more, the answer is, it turns out, strictly based on technique. You have to make people feel safe, and then you have to do what they like. It's just that simple. Drop the influencers. Orgasm more?
So it seems like they're saying the same thing, just in different ways. And she's kind of exaggerating it, right? So she's saying, if you lead me, a lot of women equate leading to safety. If I feel safe, if you initiate, if you pay for the date, then I'll feel safe. If you stand on a certain side of the sidewalk, I'll feel safe. If you open the car door, safe. If you talk me through what I'm going to experience, I feel safe. If you tell me everything is okay, I love your body's this, da, 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 da. You know, just a normal everyday. And excuse me, a lot of people make it to where it's difficult in terms of, well, you got to talk to her like this and you really got to say, and this. And brothers are like, I don't got that in me. At least not right now. I'm just starting off. I don't know her. I don't have any practice with that. Right? Sincerity. Right? If it's the right woman, sincerity is going to work. No, you're good. Hey, don't worry about it. Because she's still in her head thinking about what it is that, well, do I have a smell? When they say they think about literally everything else, they're wanting you as the man to bring their mind into they're trying to, but they want you to bring their mind and focus their mind and guide their mind into the moment. I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about my body, and if it's going to perform, if he actually likes my body, if it's going to live up to his standard, if it's going to perform how he wants it to perform, if the climax is going to be like he wants it, if it's going to be magical. Don't worry about that right now. We need to worry about X, Y, and Z. We need to worry about X, Y, and Z. Worry about X, Y, and Z. Well, the dishwasher, the baby, the this, the that. Don't worry about that right now. This is already taken care of. X, Y, and Z. Worry about this. And you bring him into it. And that's why it takes so long when they talk about the before the act, that's why it takes so long. Because their mind needs to be involved. Once their mind is involved in it, and some are faster than others, but once their mind is involved in it, then okay, let's get it. So essentially what she is saying is Dr. Butterfield here is stripping all of the exaggeration away. And he's saying, make her feel safe and do what she likes. Most men can understand that.
Why don't women have a burden of performance to become better partners if they don't want to be viewed as a mere sexual object?
I think we like sexuality, and we are objects. We're all objects. And just take your role and go with it.
How would you feel if society expected women to always pay for men, open doors, and protect them physically, not as a choice but as a duty? Would that still feel like romance or feel like an unfair burden placed on women?
I feel like we need the men to do that. It's for security.
Why is it not an unfair burden when that's placed on men?
Because that's the roles. It's gender roles. I give you the pussy and you open the doors.
Can I ask men a serious question?
Why men scrolling past without giving me a chance?
And where's the men that don't cheat?
Guys, I have to speak my truth. I never want to live with a man.
Men love telling women, that's why you're single, that's why you don't have a man.
Do I want a man? Yes. Do I really want a man? No, not really.
Where are my good men? Where are the good men at?
I'm just trying to figure out, when did these so-called men...
I have a question. What happened to men like actually doing stuff for women?
I've been married. You haven't been married. I've had a girlfriend and everything. And the one conversation I was having with a dude was side piece.
Okay.
Side piece conversation. He was like, P, man, my side piece kept my relationship going longer than I wanted it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was ready to break up with her. But if I didn't have my side piece, I would have divorced her a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So in asking y'all on Truth After Dark, as men, like, I know this ain't right, but do side pieces keep a relationship going longer than it should be?
You're
100%. Like, I heard a dude tell me that. Like, 100%. No. And then I'll explain. I'll explain this to you. He was like, man, my side piece was like, he was like, man, I'm ready to be with you. And she was like, nah, stay with your wife. Y'all should be happy. Like, the side piece kept the relationship going. Like, he was like, okay. And she was like, no, I like this how we are. And he was going home happy. You know, he was going home. His wife, he wasn't giving him none, but he was getting some from the side piece. So think about this. If he didn't have a side piece, he'd be go home miserable. Like, I ain't got nothing for my wife in 5 months. And I don't know how a man can deal with that. That's crazy. That's terms for divorce, 100%. So if he didn't have his side piece, he would have divorced her.
I think this is something that every woman needs to know about men, just so that maybe it'll kind of help you better understand them a little bit. All men have this little childhood wound, and every time that they feel hurt, or they feel like they're being attacked, or they feel like they're not good enough, or they feel ashamed, they were never taught how to deal with the emotional part. And when they tried to understand it themselves, they were told to push it down, it doesn't matter, don't feel it. So now in the new aged time of 2025, and I think we're all kind of growing out of this era where we expect men to just be men and shove their feelings down. I think now we're wanting men to feel better. Mental health is more of a thing. You know, we're kind of coming into like being more accepting to things that might not have been acceptable in the past. I don't feel like we're really living in the like rub some dirt on it. Now we're kind of like go get a band-aid, you know? So when it comes to men, they're trying to learn how to express feelings because they just run so much off of logic that understanding emotions isn't really their thing. And I know that we're really good at it. We are very good at emotions, dude. catch me the week before my period and I am fueled up with emotions. And so because we operate emotionally, we just expect that they should too. Because you're like, well, why don't you understand this? And it's because they literally were never taught how to understand what's going on here. In fact, they were told to ignore it. Shove it down, don't feel it. So it is our job as women to adapt with them, and when they show up vulnerable, when they show up emotional, you do not use it against them. You don't get to be pissed off, and when you want to be and you want to poke at him, you use his emotions against him if you do that. Because now you went and did up for the girl that wants him to be vulnerable and would encourage that, but you went him up so much he doesn't even want to do it anymore. Then that girl can't get through to him because he's not being fully vulnerable with her. She ends up being like, well, I want a vulnerable relationship, so I'm gonna go seek it elsewhere. So they break up and he now has an abandonment wound and she has a, well, maybe I'm never gonna find the perfect guy there all, and she goes into relationships like that. And she does everything to create that for herself. This is why we're all dumb. So yes, it should be an expectation that he shows up in the relationship with respect. That is never a question. But when you start to see these childhood wounds kind of come up, encourage him to do it, but encourage him to do it in a way that is healthy. Sometimes their emotions come out and it's not a very healthy way, but they don't quite understand that. But it's our job to be understanding to that and walk them through it and be a safe place for them to fall. When you choose the relationship, you choose to love in the relationship. And until everyone can be on the same page about that, stay out of relationships. Anyway,
I got a theory here, and it's not proven with anything. But do you ever think because we were in times of distress and war, that there were more important things than sitting down and talking and discussing emotion? That men didn't have time for that? And even in the 90s, I think, I can't remember when Desert Storm was. You're about to get off the hook, and then you go into another one, and then you get off the hook with that, and then you go into other things and other situations to where you gotta rise up. The whole thing with Iraq and all that other stuff. It just seems like there's always something going on, and that's not to absolve a man from processing his emotions correctly, but men have to worry about other more important things, specifically in this instance, survival. And after that, we can focus on talking about things in detail. But right now, and what men usually do when they talk to their brothers, their friends and stuff like that, is they let out a little bit. It's kind of like, y'all don't really like men because men don't. Think about it like a pressure cooker, where you let off a little bit of steam and then you close the top back up. There's too much steam, so I gotta let it out. Like in the middle of a freaking war, there's too much pressure. There's too much pressure. I gotta let a little bit out. Some of these boys obviously are out there, and they were actually boys. You got men out there, but they were actually boys out there crying, just distraught, having mental breakdowns. There's too much pressure. Too much pressure, way too much pressure for a 17, 18-year-old young man, or 17 just turning 18. And just talking about it kind of makes me sick to my stomach. That at 18, you would be seeing that type of stuff. At a young age, at 21, you would be seeing that. I mean, you were just, playing football or basketball literally 2 or 3 months ago. And this is what you see 2 or 3 months later. Like you're just the day before sitting at an ice cream shop. Well, maybe not the day before, but maybe a month before sitting at an ice cream shop with what you feel is the love of your life. And now you're over there in war. And there's, maybe not to this degree, but there's other stories like this to where men have had to rise to the occasion. And now that it seems that we've got some sort of peace, if I can say it like that, now men have to work on, okay, I can let off the steam all the way. But what you got to do as a woman is allow the steam to come off without sitting there nitpicking. Y'all had the privilege, and I say the privilege loosely because back in the day, there were women that had to participate in certain things in the war as well, so they weren't completely off the hook, right? But A lot of you have the privilege, even in today's society, to sit back and analyze. You have time to think. And so you sit there and you nitpick a man. And it's so easy for you because you have time to do it. And a man is saying, okay, this is how I'm going to show up. Well, that's not good enough. You're not crying. Then when a man cries, oh, you cry too much. Like you guys, because you think that you've cried more than, or you've talked about your emotions more, then you think you're qualified to tell people how they should present their emotions and talk about their emotions and express their emotions. You can give tips and pointers and general guidance, but you're not first of all, you don't understand what men go through. So you're not the end all be all of that. You're not even an expert in it, right? So I get that you're trying to help, but I think a lot of modern women still fall short simply because they don't understand how men try to let off the pressure and the steam. You need to, at some point in time, if that's really important to you, say, okay, and now you got a little bit more time. Let's see if we can, talk about this and just tell me, what it is that you're going through, and allow him to say all of that without trying to fix it, without trying to feel a way. And if you feel a way about it, you go off and process your emotions, because remember, you're the emotionally mature and emotionally intelligent one. So you should know how to handle those examples or those situations. So now is your time to be emotionally mature and an emotional expert and figure out how to help him navigate through that. Not drag him through it, not force him through it. I'm giving you pointers on how to figure out your emotions, just like you're giving me tips and pointers on how to be successful in my business. You're helping me to pay these bills, or you're paying these bills for me. You're doing for me and I'm doing for you. That's a reciprocal relationship.
It's so hard having a good man when your cycle's coming and you want to be crazy. This man is getting on my nerves and he's not even doing anything. And he's being extra nice. He's going to go get me some food right now. And I told myself, I got to get it together. Get it together. By the time he goes and gets that food and come back, I better have a smile on my face, attitude going. But I can't help it. It's my hormones.
Now listen, this is great, all right? This is perfect, because finally there's a woman telling the truth. All we need for y'all is to tell us. I don't know if your man, if he's seen this video, but see, usually the problem in relationships is they never share this sentiment with us. They never share. They just get mean and dangerous and aggressive and violent. And I'm just wondering, like, if any women out there, I'm just telling y'all, if y'all can come to this same conclusion and then just tell us, and we'll be cool. We'll be like, all right. But y'all try to make it seem like it's our fault, like we did something, and we trying to figure out what we done did now. All the good men, all the toxic men, they know they done did something wrong, so they actually don't care. But that's what y'all like, though.
Women in particular do not know what love is. Do you agree with that?
Yes. He thought he was about to start some mess with that question. Little did he know she was about to drop the realest definition of love ever.
Why do you think that?
Because love is sacrifice. Love is not a fleeting emotion.
Oh my goodness.
I think a lot of people get it confused when they say, oh, I love you, but don't know that love comes with a type of commitment that you will lay your life down for somebody. Servanthood is in my character, and this is how I show that I love you, because I will sacrifice my time. My time and my presence are front and foremost for you. This is what I'm here to do. Because at the end of the day, I do believe that one thing that the devil hates the most is a type of covenant that is between you, your spouse, and God. And for me to withhold any of that love, that sacrifice, and that commitment back from my spouse, that's cheating both you and God.
After hearing her break it all the way down, is this the standard we should all be holding ourselves to?
I think it's a good thing. I think she's self-aware. I think she's able to understand that the modern woman's definition of love is not great. The definition of bare minimum and being taken care of is something very, very different, right? And this is what men are looking for. They're looking for somebody who understands what it is to be in a relationship, understands what it is to adjust and adapt and fight for the relationship, what it is to nurture and care for a household, for children, for the man, to get out of yourself, to sacrifice. Because I'm going to be sacrificing. I'm going to have to get up and go to work. I'm going to have to be there for long hours, knowing I don't want to be there. Sometimes these men absolutely hate these jobs. But, hey man, I got a family. I got mouths to feed. I abhor this job, my boss, everything about it. They don't understand the stress that goes into working. They think, oh, that's a 9 to 5. Even at some of these high-paying jobs, you can still hate it. But they think, oh, well, because you're getting paid so much, then you must be okay. No. Some of these working conditions are absolutely horrendous. Some of these bosses go on a power trip and an ego trip, and you be ready to do something to them. They be talking to you crazy. They be all up in your face, trying to bait you, trying to lure you into doing something crazy, into putting your hands on them. I was working at a place one day, a long time ago, back when I was younger, and we were in a meeting, and we had a lot of these meetings, dude. Every day a meeting. Almost, it seemed like every hour, but it was probably every 4 hours. So you come up there, you're tired. Ain't nobody really popping off doing anything. And you be like, man, what do we need to do to get this work done? What do we need to do to move forward, to drive results? I'm trying to do the best I can. I ain't getting no results. You supposed to be the big shot. What is it that we need to do? Man said, hey, we'll talk about this later. Because I come in early and I try to talk to him before the day gets started. He said, I'm going to talk to you about it later. Man's comes into the meeting, and essentially what he was trying to do, because he started asking questions, and the first question I caught it. And in the like he's asking cloaked and subtle questions about the conversation that we had. And it wasn't disrespectful. I thought we had a calm back and forth. Hey, I'm doing this. I'm trying to do this. Is there anything else that I can try? Is there anything else I can da-da-da-da-da? I went over here and did this, da-da-da-da-da, and I'm looking for this, and I also tried this, I did that. And even stuff that he told me, I did stuff he told me to do, and I did stuff that he didn't tell me to do. I did stuff that I sat around and thought about, just whatever I could. I called my dad and say, hey, what do I do? Because my dad was in that sort of industry or similar before. Couldn't find anything. Nothing was working, right? He comes out of the meeting, like I said, he comes out of the meeting, and he comes out of the office and goes into the meeting, and he's saying this weird veiled shade. He's throwing the shade in the meeting, and nobody knows what he's talking about, just me. And he asked 2 or 3 more questions like that, and then he starts putting the paper down in front of us. This man was doing something the morning of when I went in there to talk to him. He stopped what he was doing, did a whole nother assignment, printed out a paper just to make an example out of me, and put it in the meeting and start putting it down in front of us. And I said, what is this? In front of like 15, probably 15, 20, 25 guys. I said, what is this? So you gonna come in here and try to clown me? And this is, he wasn't the manager, but he was kind of like the assistant manager. And I said, so you gonna come in here and try to clown me based on the meeting that we had this morning? He said, what are you talking about? I said, this is the stuff that we talked about this morning. And you know this is stuff that we talked about this morning. And we went back and forth, because at first he tried to act like he didn't know what I was talking about. But eventually, and people just like looking, I don't care nothing about that. That's not the way my dad taught me. You're gonna clown me? I'm up here early. I'm leaving late. I don't get much of any sleep because I'm always up here trying to work and do stuff. What's going on? And so anyways, it gets to the point to where he want to holler and scream. We're not going to holler and scream, but I am going to be firm with you. And I am going to say, hey, you said X, Y, and Z. I did that. We've been doing that. It ain't working. Boss, you figure out a way to lead us into what we should be doing. We've been doing this, what you said, and we've been doing outside of that. It's not working. What other thing can we do? You said if we need help to call you. You gave us your number. If you need help, call me, text me any time of day. And that's what I did. And now you want to come in here and clown me for it? That ain't gonna stand. Period. End of story. And so what he wanted to do at one point in time is get in my face. He was talking crazy, started talking real reckless, and got in my face, right in my face. And so it ended up, he was trying to get me to hit him. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to listen. I'm going to walk out. And so that's what I did. I started walking out. Some of the other supervisors in there, man, you can't do that, man. Come on, just come on back. Hey, man, but please, just come on back to the meeting, man. Oh, okay, all right. If you're going to go home, just come back tomorrow, man. Don't do this, man. Man, you're a good guy. I'm not going to sit up here and be disrespected like that at all. And I think I had a couple of my other guys that I work with. Hey, man, that was some gangster stuff that you did there, man. Oh, man, I ain't never seen nothing like that. I don't know why. My dad ain't teach me to take that. Period. End of story. I ain't nobody, but my dad ain't teach me to do all that. And I'm not going to. Be respectful. Now I understand you got to get on my case and make me do what I'm supposed to be doing. I get that. But don't be disrespectful. This is the type of stuff that a lot of men go through. Maybe not to that extent every day, but it happens. And for you as a woman, when a man comes home and says, oh, all you did today was go to work. All you did, you got it easy. All you have to go do is get up in the morning. You got your lunch packed. You got to go to work. And, shake a couple of hands, you get promotions, people love you, you come home. Meanwhile, I'm fighting for my life, yada, yada, yada. That's not the way it is. I'm sacrificing. I hate this job. I hate what it entails. It's bad for my body. It's bad for my health. But I got to keep on doing it in order to provide for you guys. And I think she gets that. And I appreciate that. So kudos to her.